Howdy y'all, today is April 19th. We had a really nice rain come through, actually pretty powerful storm come through last night. I really wanted to get this seeded last night, but I just ran out of time with a million other things I've got going on. So I'm gonna throw a little seed down now. We might get a tiny rain shower later, hopefully help water that in. This little door here was open the other day and working fine, but should be open right now and it's not. And the battery's there. So I don't know what's up with that. I have it programmed to come on or open at 6 and then close 30 minutes after the sun sets. I'll probably wind up just setting an actual time for the close. That way I just know it's going to open and close, and maybe that light sensor is really sensitive too. But other than that, at least it's halfway working. I think if I just set it to a different time, will work a little better. I don't know. That's how many minutes you want after. I don't know. I'll have to mess with it. Well, I think I have it set now. I don't know if I'm actually going to go with those exact times or not, but once I get chickens in there, I'll peg it down. So I will be planting ryegrass in the pig paddock, and also probably just in some sparse places around the farm. The trailer was parked here for a while, and it looks a little thin, so I have a 50-pound bag of this, so not all of it is going to make it in the pig pen, but just kind of loosely around the farm, but the majority of it will be out here. I was just a little short, so I got to run back up to the barn to get some more, but only this last little itty-bitty section here, and then it will be planted. Happy Easter, y'all. Today is April 20th. I have all the chores done. I've got my tomatoes and some peppers out there. This is either the third or fourth day outside, so tomorrow I would like to move them into a coop for 12 to 24 hours and see how they do. Tonight is my first free evening I've had in a really long time because I've been extremely busy with music stuff. So I do plan to get 50, probably 80 birds out today. I have to do a little more work on one coop, and then we'll get another 30 out, but that's the plan for tonight. So now that everything's out of the way there, I've already done everything upstairs. I am finally going to shake out my mealworms, get another batch of them going. I've got another container ready to go here, so this is the one we'll use. I'll probably condense the ones I currently have because I'm running out of smaller containers. As far as the mealworms are already starting to change over and wanting to turn into beetles, temperature really plays a big part in that, and the warmer it is, the faster their life cycle is, so that's why they're not really getting super big and fat. It's just they're growing and changing so quick. So I got to get them a little cooler if I want the mealworms to grow a bit bigger. So this container and this container are my oldest mealworms, and the ones that you can see I have all those little pupa in there starting to want to change over to beetles. So I'll start getting more beetles here probably in about a week. So I'm going to put these two tubs together over here. Beetles are all sorted out, so we'll dump them, sift them on the 11th. I've got two groups of mealworms here consolidated. These are the ones that are slowly going to turn into beetles. I'm just going to let all these turn into beetles at this point. And these next ones here are the ones I just sifted out, and we'll just wait and see. I got to put some food in there. The other batch that is in between both of those, I am, I'll turn some lights on real quick. I'm going to leave out here in hopes that they stay cooler. It will be cooler, and these guys actually stay mealworms. So these are a little smaller, and none are quite changing over just yet. So it stays way cooler out here than it does in that room. When I walk in, sometimes it's 90 degrees. So I think they'll be a little better out here, and hopefully not as crazy in here, because the humidity and the high temperatures really speed up that life cycle. So we will see what happens there. I don't have too terribly many beetles left, but they're still popping out mealworms. It's amazing how quick that process is going. What was it, 2 months ago I started with 300 beetles or mealworms, And now I've got a pretty self-sustaining little colony going, so that's pretty cool. I'll probably start feeding mealworms maybe in the next month or two. I kind of want to build up a little bit of a supply first, so that way I can keep feeding on a consistent basis to the chickens. Good news is the door open. I'm going to have it open at 7 in the morning and close at 9 o'clock at night. I'm gonna have to keep kind of adjusting the open and close time. I'm not gonna do the light sensing thing. I'm just gonna do it by time because I think that's a little safer, just as long as I remember to reset it as the days get longer. But I'm gonna put 50 birds in here tonight because this coop's done. I'm not a huge fan of the nesting box. I think it just needs a little bit more slope on it, but we'll give it a test run and see what happens there. If I don't like it, it's easy enough to fix. It's just doing it. This coop, I've got to put the screen on the front and the back. I'm not going to worry about the sides because the coops are so close together that nothing's really going to get in there. The only reason I'm not putting 50 in here is because I don't have the door on here yet, and I don't want to crowd the chickens in here if they're not able to get out. So I'll do 50, 30, and then these two, I just need to do some work, add some more roosting bars, and work on the nesting boxes. Meat birds, I think I have coming in 2 weeks. There's really nothing more to do with this coop. It's just there, minus putting the screen all around the bottom, and that will take, 15-20 minutes, so won't be too bad. And then I still have the other coop out there to work on, so slowly getting chickens out this week. Unfortunately, I have music every day again through Saturday, I think, so we'll see. I might bail on a couple music things just so I can get some stuff done out here, but I plan on moving this coop out and some of this next coop here, and that will free up a lot of space to start putting the plants out here to get them a little more used to it, because I would like to start planting end of the week, maybe this weekend. Definitely start that first weekend in May. I found my tomatoes out for a couple hours now. Wind's good on them, make them a little stronger. Got them watered real good. You can see some of them aren't really caring for the sun too much, but I don't see a lot of wilting going on, which is good. It's still kind of overcast today, not complete full sun, so that's good for them too. It's not super intense, but I've been turning that temperature down in the grow room 1 degree every day, so that way they get a little more used to the fluctuation. So it gets up to high 80s into the 90s with the lights on during the day when it's warm out, and then in the evenings I have it set to a low of 71. I'm sure it hits that, but slowly moving things out, chickens and plants. I've been so busy, I don't even think I've showed you guys this, but we have the new freezer in place. Thank you to my dad for adding an outlet, running it over there, and also leveling it up with some stone and sand. So just need to plug it in. The pigs were done as of Tuesday, but I plan on picking them up probably tomorrow. So that'll be pretty cool. It'll be all the fresh cuts, none of the smoked stuff. It's just under 600 pounds of meat coming back, so I'm interested to see how full this freezer is going to get. And you know what's crazy? Looking at the calendar here, the school project, the chicks are going to be hatching on the 29th, and then I have chicks shipping out on the 28th. Those are my meat birds. So it's going to be a busy week. Set up and ready to move some chickens here soon, so I'm really excited to get these girls out. And I'm also interested to see if that door goes down right at 9 o'clock as well. It's currently 8:50, so I feel pretty confident that all the chickens are going to be up by 9 o'clock. So this little door should be closing here in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing some chickens though and moving them out. I got 71 chickens out tonight. That's if my counting was right. 50 in one coop and 21 in the other coop. I could have put 30 in that one. However, I would be mixing 2 different coops, and I didn't want a lot of fighting, especially since that second coop doesn't have that door on it where they wouldn't be able to get away from each other. So I'm gonna pause on that. Once I get the door on there, then I'll just do the complete 50. 50 looks a little tight, but once again, they're only roosting in there at night. Come morning time, they're gonna be out. So I don't feel too bad about that. I mean, They each have a perfect spot on the roost bar, but there's not really any wiggle room, but once again, just roosting. So that should be good for them. I'll slowly start getting more chickens out just when I get more time, basically. So it feels really good to have that. I have 2 full coops to work with now as far as bringing plants out. So that'll help the garden process. So great feeling all around. I've got my tomatoes and peppers out now in one of the chicken coops, the ones that I've been running in and out for the past few days. So that's a good feeling. Freed me up a table upstairs so I can continue working on the garden. Now what I'm gonna do today is begin to fill this freezer up. I'm gonna plug it in, start letting it get cool, and then run up and grab some pork. The freezer is full, you guys, so that is a really nice feeling. There's still actually a little bit of room. I have a few more boxes to pick up of the smoked meats, so another week or 2 out on that. But I've got some sausage thawing out, and I'm gonna try it tomorrow. Howdy, y'all. Today is April 21st. I have a few chickens out milling around. Most of them are still inside the coop. The door opened up this morning and all is good there. I did grab some eggs out of the nesting boxes. Everything seemed to work good there. It's a little breezy, so I'm hanging out over here so you can hopefully hear me a little better. But chickens are good. So what I'm doing now is kind of cleaning this up a little bit. I'm gonna leave this bedding in here this year, but I wanna move some of the stuff out of the way there, get that out of the way. I'm thinking about even taking the roost bar out. What I'd like to do is make something that the chickens can run underneath, even just throw some stuff out there in case a hawk were to come down, because there's truly nowhere for the chickens to hide or run if something happened other than run in the coop. And if all 50 chickens are out, they can't file through that little coop door fast enough. So I want to give them a little bit more protection just in case of that. I have some chickens that just aren't that bright, so just taking a little nap right there. Something swooped down, she'd be the first to go. So I'd just like to have a little extra protection out there for them. That way if they want to take a nap, they can at least be underneath something, not right out in the open like that. And it looks like I had a chicken hop the fence because I was in here earlier and there was not a chicken. So that's one thing I am worried about, especially tonight. The chickens that are out might see this as home and try to come over here and not go up in their new coop. So I'll probably be staying to watch that. But I want to get this chicken out of here. On the nesting box that I built, it's a pretty good slant on there because I really wanted to make sure the eggs are rolling, but they're rolling a little too hard. So I only got 1 egg from there today, and there's mostly all just busted and gross. So I'm gonna put a little buffer in there. I accidentally melted a hose having a bonfire. Oh, when was that? Maybe a month or so ago. The hose was wrapped around, didn't notice, started a huge fire because there was a bunch in it, needed to burn up. and I melted it. So I'm gonna use that hose that's a little broke now and put that in that box there, so when they roll down, it's not just gonna smack wood, but it'll have a little rubber bumper. Howdy y'all, today is April 22nd. Started the morning off with some biscuits and gravy from Homegrown Pork. Tasted amazing. That sage is just the perfect seasoning. It's not too much, not too little. Didn't need to add anything to it. It was phenomenal, so good. Now out at the farm, gonna do a little work in the garden. I just got off the phone with one of my neighbors and he offered, I don't know, several months ago to do some tilling for me this spring. So this entire garden area I'm gonna have him till. It's gonna make life so much easier. So I'm outlining it with T-posts right now so he knows just where the boundaries are. I've got all the corners and sides of the garden marked for my neighbor so that way he knows where to go. I also mowed down that whole north line there where I'm gonna put the corn. Now I'm just kind of cleaning up the garden. I have random bamboo sticks in here. Got those up. I marked the strawberries because I'm not planning on moving them. These carrots I planted maybe 5 days before we had that tornado come through. All this just completely washed out, so I'm gonna tear that up. I do have some kale that came back. You see some pretty good looking plants in here, so I'll probably pick those, have a nice dinner with them. Maybe over the next couple nights. It's still a little wet to do any tilling, so probably won't do it today, but the next few days. So it's a good feeling to have that done. There is still a little bit of weed cloth there to get up, but other than that, we're ready to till it. I probably will mow it all down just to make it a little bit easier. The garden's coming along. I'll show you guys here in a little bit, but time to get on some chores. This year I'm going to try to move the coops every other day just to help the workload a little bit. So we'll try that for a while and see if that works out good. So I'm about to move them. I did just see a chicken laid an egg there in their bowl of grit, so interesting choice. But let me go ahead and get these chickens moved. I still have a couple that every now and then want to go back to the old coop. I think they'll get better as time goes on. So this first patch here is 50 birds that can go out during the day. And the second patch here is 20 birds that are just stuck in the coop. And looking at both of them, they look pretty similar. So it's gonna work really well having the 50 birds in a coop, because as long as they can get out, they can't mess it up too bad. And yeah, that looks pretty comparable to what last year was. So I think it'll work good. I don't know how well the every other day will work, but yeah, we'll just give it a go this year. So there's the new outline for the garden. You can see where I mowed and where last year's garden kind of was. Kind of hard to see on the outer edges there, but you can really see this corner pretty well. But yeah, that's gonna be the far edge. We're also gonna add another row up front, but that'll be really nice to have tilled up. I just brought in this full table along the back wall here from outside. They're outside for about an hour. So these are all the ones that were looking, you know, good enough to go out. I have a little slight sick pile here of some that just aren't looking so hot. So I put some fertilizer, watered them good. If they come out, great. If not, we'll replant. And that's what I'm doing right now. All the ones that didn't come up, some watermelon, and just the melons basically. I'm gonna replant some of those so we keep things moving. So I was about to work on retrofitting that nesting box onto the coop on the right there. The left is a little small on the opening, but the right's plenty perfect for that. But sitting it in here, half of me is thinking, what if I just not hook it onto a coop. It'll keep the coops lighter. I'll have to drag something extra around, but I don't know, just a thought. Before I even started the rollout nesting box projects, as far as putting them on the coops, one of my initial ideas was to just have one coop that was only used for laying and just have all the boxes in one coop. And then another idea was just to have them kind of sitting around, potentially like that. The only downside I could see with that, if they're outside and not attached to a coop, is the chickens tend to get broody. And if you get one that wants to stay in that nesting box, something can walk by and just pick that chicken up and have them for dinner. So that's the only downside I can see to leaving the nesting boxes outside. I mean, sure, you have weather to think about as well. If you have a lot of wind or a lot of rain or something like that. I don't know. I might try them both ways because it's kind of an experimental year anyways on just letting the chickens do their thing. So I might leave that one out. All right, y'all, the garden is completely picked up, all the weed cloth and everything, so that is a great feeling. And as far as the kale, I went ahead and picked it. We got a full bag, which is pretty surprising considering there are only a couple small little plants in there. But I called my neighbor earlier today. He said he could till it, and then he called this afternoon and said he's actually going to do it tomorrow afternoon. So I'm excited to have that done. Howdy, y'all. Today is April 23rd. Yesterday, got my first sunburn of the year. Went and scratched my neck, and ooh, that hurt. So I turned into a redneck overnight. But my neighbor just showed up, and he's about to till the garden. Howdy, y'all. Today is April 24th. Grabbed a new little toy this morning. My dad actually ran across this the other day. I was planning on hand planting all that corn, but didn't know this existed. So for the price point, it got good reviews. So we're gonna do this. It'll be a lot faster than hand planting. It looks like the rain's moving back just a little bit, which is nice. So that should give me a little more time if I don't get to planting corn today. So right now, the more pressing project is the chick project because the chicks are hatching Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in there. So there's 3 classrooms this year. I'm only set up for 2, so I have to get 1 more ready, which means another tub and a lid. So that's what I'm working on right now. I just traced this out, cut it out, and slowly gonna build it up. this go around I am making it a little thicker. On the past ones, I stayed the exact width of the tub to match it to make it look nice. Honestly, if it overhangs on the inside a little bit, I'm okay with that because it makes this sturdier. Without it, it's a little flimsy, so that it cracks really easy. I have a broken one. I'm gonna pull it out and see if I can fix it. If not, I have enough here where it could make another one, but I also kind of want to save the wood for another project if I can. But anyways, getting close on this. One more side to cut out there, then we'll sand it down, paint it, screen it, and then it should be pretty good at that point. Put some hinges on there. But first we're gonna pause real quick and start moving plants back in. Actually, it's kind of cloudy out. They might be okay. I don't know, I'll check on them. Also earlier today, my dad got here before me and he was out in the pig paddock. He actually managed to get the tiller in there and run, I don't know, good 5 to 6 feet. So if we ever needed to get the mower in there, we can now, because beforehand it was really bumpy and rutted out. So that's nice. I will put some more seed down in there. Howdy, yeah, today is April 25th. I have a feeling when I open the barn, there's gonna be 1,000,001 bees trying to come out. It's actually not too bad. They're just wanting in. I think they were able to find their way out underneath the garage door last night, but when I left, it was still light out and the bees were all over this area still. It was crazy. Or maybe not. Maybe they just all piled up on the window there. Can't see with the lighting, but they're all on this window and the other window, so better open that up. You know, I had all my plants out here for 2 days, maybe 3 days, and then I started noticing something digging in the pots, and it's pretty bad, to the point of killing plants. So I moved them all out and I did a little test run. I put some up on this random shelf. Those are okay, but up here it got into them and made a bunch of holes and tore stuff up. So I think it's a mouse if I had to guess. I see you know, there's one hole right here and that looks kind of like a little mouse hole, so I don't know, but it's not a really safe place for the plants at the moment, so I moved them all outside, but they're well acclimated. I really wanted to move some more out here, but I don't want them getting torn up. I might throw some mouse traps down in those spots where they're clearly coming out of. I don't know why the mice are wanting to dig in the pots, but they do a lot of damage. It looks like the tomatoes did all right out here overnight. It hasn't been sunny today. It's overcast and raining right now. I can tell they've gotten a little bit of sun, but that's all right. For the most part, they're okay. But that mouse thing has, especially this plant here, just about killed it. It dug down really good on that one. I tried kind of covering it back up, but it looks like they're, for the most part, safe out here. I'm not seeing any new holes dug in them, but yeah, just a little odd.